Hello everyone, I'm Sean Holland from the Investec Emerging Companies Fund. It's great to talk to you today about the approach we take as a fund and how we're looking at the current market situation. But before we get started, I hope this finds you and your families all safe and well. It's a tough period for everyone and we're really looking forward to hopefully doing this face-to-face at some stage soon. So at a high level, the Investec Emerging Companies Fund has a focus on high growth, scalable businesses and who need capital to scale up their business models. We're looking to invest between 3 and 5 million in each investment and backing the founders and then working with them closely over the investment period to maximize growth in the business. Because of this, we aim to hold a significant minority in each of our portfolio businesses and work alongside the founders who retain still a material part of their business, so they're incentivized to drive growth as well. And we've built a team of 7, all of us from a diverse background, as well as 4 senior investment committee members from both technology, private equity, listed corporate and banking backgrounds. Over the past month or two, we're really excited to announce 2 new investments if you haven't seen them in the media. One was Longtail UX, which is a search engine optimization platform for long tail searches, and VAMP, which is an influencer marketing and content creation platform. So our investment mandate is focused on investing in and partnering with high growth businesses who have found product market fit, they've established their revenue model and they are looking for capital and assistance to scale up to the next phase of business growth and typically into profitability in the near term. Because of our active partnership approach, we're also closely focused on why we're the right investment partner to be investing in each business. So it might be because the company benefits from our expertise, either within our team or the wider Investec organisation. It might be because the company can leverage the significant network that we have as an organisation and connections that we can provide. But in both instances, we really look for that strong rationale for us being involved and how we can influence the outcomes and drive value and growth in the business for our fund investors. So what do we look for in the businesses we invest in? At the core, each business should be solving a really important problem for their customers. They should be able to do that in a scalable and unique way and be doing this for a price which makes sense to their customers as well. If they are doing this, we can then get a better understanding of how big the potential is, as well as the ability the company has to deliver into that potential. And that wider evaluation would include a much more granular look into the market size, market trends, the strength of the founding team, and competition in the market. But in reality, every business is going to have strengths and weaknesses across those other criteria. But if they don't have that core value proposition for their customers, these other factors probably don't matter as much. And from a founder perspective, we spend a lot of time with the founders and constantly evaluating them as part of our discussions and ensuring that we're comfortable with them. And the reason for this is twofold. The first is to judge their honesty, their transparency, their approach to collaboration. And the second is to understand their thinking processes and capabilities to lead the business. The first of these, the transparency and honesty, is critical. You know, we work with these founders very closely over a period of years, and we have to work with founders who we can trust and have a good working relationship with. Because the reality is, growth businesses almost never go to plan. If a founder's transparent and if something is going wrong, the first thing they do is jump on the phone to us. We've got the opportunity to work it through together and find the best way forward for the business, rather than if we're not the first call they make, the problem maybe has gotten much larger and more difficult to solve before we can get involved and help find a solution. And secondly, obviously, because we do take a partnership approach, we're backing the existing team to grow the business. We're not looking at putting other people in and help them lead the business. So as a result, we need the founding team to have a functional understanding across the whole business, you know, across the numbers, the sales, the marketing, product design, HR, and hopefully different members of the founding team will have deep expertise in different parts of that and different deep knowledge over their business and the divisions it has. So as an active investor, you know, we do partner closely with founders and work with each portfolio company to assist them through a bunch of things, all of the key strategic challenges we have in our journey. It might include key growth investment decisions with the capital that we've put in, the future capital strategy, providing them with some key contacts or key contacts into potential customers, or even just providing a different perspective based on the experience that we see throughout a bunch of businesses and bringing that experience to help the founders in each of our portfolio companies. And actually, the last one's actually probably one of the most important. Providing that different perspective and challenging management and their thinking process is really critical to promote really good quality and high quality decision making on an ongoing basis throughout the growth journey. And also, as I said, us being part of a larger organization, we've got over 7,000 people globally, and so we're able to access a really large network of potential partners, potential customers for each portfolio business as well. So if I think about how some of you as individual investors might approach some early stage investment, generally, I'd definitely bear in mind this is a risky asset class and you'd want to ensure that it is right for you. If you're looking at early stage companies, I'd really recommend looking around your own network and trying to get as many different opinions, a diverse set of opinions as possible from as many different people as you can, because others might see something you miss, others might bring a different perspective to an investment decision than you might. And finally, where you can, I'd look to try and find, and we do this a lot in our investment making decisions, find a sector expert, whether it's retail or industrial or consumer. Find someone that has deep and long understanding of that particular business and see if you can get a particular insight that they can provide that maybe you don't have. And regarding how might you support your businesses once you're in, the reality is the best way to find out is ask your founders. Depending on the business, depending on the size of your investment, depending on what your background is, the way that you help your companies is likely to be very different. But if a founder knows your door's always open and they have a really clear understanding of your expertise and the type of assistance you can provide, it empowers them to reach out at the right time rather than you constantly calling and trying to help and using up their time unnecessarily. It's always going to be a balance. Advice from an investor can be really helpful at the right time. But if there's a large cap table and all of the shareholders are wanting discussions continually, it could actually be counterproductive and damage the business in the long run. If on the other hand, a founder has a large cap table of responsive shareholders that are able to help when they're reached out to, that's a fantastic support network for a founder and a fantastic source of advice for a business as it grows as well. So as we think about the current situation, I mean, it certainly has felt overwhelming at times over the last month or two. I'm sure you'll agree. And it's been difficult to see a path back to normality. But in reality, we will return to normality at some stage. And given the potential scarcity of capital, there are likely to be some outstanding investment opportunities as we emerge from this and start the process of returning back to normal. For us, the Emerging Companies Fund, we typically do look at 500 companies a year, and we probably invest in maybe 2 or 3. So we've always been really selective in our approach. As we investigate opportunities in the current environment, this continues. Nothing's changed in that respect. We're still meeting with a large number of founders, whether it's an opportunity now or sometimes they're a little bit too early for us and we're meeting them to build our understanding of their business, and then we can continue that discussion as we grow into that mandate. But it is fair to say our focus has been on businesses which have either experienced a lift in growth over the last couple of months as lockdown has been part of our lives, or at the very least are unaffected by the lockdown process. We've also had a really strong focus, on the long-term prospects, not just how does this perform over the next 2 months, but with any investment decision, how does it perform next year and the year after once the world is back to normal. Some companies, may experience a boost through this period because they benefit particularly from the lockdown process. But unless they achieve that behavioral change in their customer base, it might be that come the start of 2021, that boost starts to fade because their customers return to normal. So we're looking at the businesses and making sure that where they are seeing a step change at the moment, that step change is sustainable and long term. And some of the sectors, they'll all make sense to you, I'm sure, listening to the call. Companies facilitating e-commerce, companies facilitating e-commerce delivery. We've looked at some workplace efficiency software or workplace automation software that people can work remotely. We've looked at companies associated with critical industries or software in healthcare or education as well. We've seen a couple of companies as well, which would be really interesting in infratech and ag tech. Perhaps they haven't seen the immediate boost over the last month, but as we do look forward maybe 6 months and the world starts returning to normal, those businesses are probably in a position where their customers are less affected than maybe some of the other industries, and maybe those companies are in a really strong position to accelerate out of the recovery rather than slowly building back up. One thing we are very focused on at the moment with all of the businesses that we look at is both their cash runway and their operational excellence. You know, both of those, the way a business is managing and the founders are managing their operations are critical at the current point in time. So when might we return to normal? I'm not sure anyone can really confidently answer that question at the moment. And because of that, over the past month, we've had a really strong focus and will continue to have a strong focus on supporting our portfolio through the crisis to ensure they are in a position to make the most of the recovery when it does come, rather than trying to predict the exact month that it does actually eventuate. Once the pathway does become clearer to the way out, it might be that there are opportunities to start looking and start supporting businesses that maybe have had a difficult time over the last couple of months. But the recovery prospects are really strong, and the way forward and the way that recovery is looking is becoming more clear. At the end of the day, look, I certainly hope that all of you and your families stay safe over the coming months, and hopefully we're starting to see this first small steps towards opening back up over the next couple of weeks. And as I said before, hopefully next time we do this, we're face to face, and we really look forward to that. Thank you everyone for taking the time to listen. I hope it's been useful for some of you, and I hope we get the chance to meet in person soon. If you do have any questions about the Investec Emerging Companies Fund or our approach to investing in emerging companies, very happy to take your questions following this. Thank you.